Hey guys, how's it going? I just got off a really good training from Eric Worre in Chicago with my team. It was so awesome to be there in community with him, learning on how we just take our business to the next level and truly transform. So, what I'm doing and my goal here tonight is to work with you on some of those tips and strategies that he gave us that'll hopefully help break through some of the things that may be getting you stuck. And I wanted to first go through what he shifted in my mind when he talked about mindset and some of the things that we often are programmed. He used the word programmed from birth to understand related to how we're supposed to go about our life. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and I'll get a little bit more into some of the things that Eric shared with us. Okay, so one of the things he talked about was his ability to break free. He talked about his journey from the traditional classroom and how that really didn't work out for him much, and then how he kind of fell into network marketing because there were some successful people that showed an interest in it. So he actually went to a presentation, wasn't planning on doing that thing that was offered to him, and then the fear of missing out, went back and decided to go ahead and he talked about his struggles early on in network marketing as he was learning to become a professional network marketer. But what I thought was interesting about that is he talked about the employee mindset and how in general as people we're taught since birth, you go to school. Once you get out of school, you go to college or you go right into the workplace after that. You find something that is paid hourly, that has set standards. You show up at this time, you leave at this time, you have a 1 hour lunch, you get X number of time off per year. And that we get into this pattern of that's normal, that basically 40 years you work in a company, you decide to retire. And then he compared that to the entrepreneur where early on, regardless of whether it's network marketing or a small business, you're not making much money at all. You start out at level one, and sometimes it takes a little while for that ramp up. So we talked about at level one, you're underpaid for your job. Level two, you're fairly paid, and then at level three, you're overpaid. But the way he transitioned that, or the mindset, was amazing. So he said it took him 4 years to completely break free financially, and then took him 7 years to earn $1 million a year in network marketing. Now, I've been through, I've done an associate's degree, a certificate in nuke med, a bachelor's degree, and I finished my master's degree. I went through all that training, which was very beneficial for the work I was doing, but I didn't get paid during that time. And if you think about it from the lens of if you're coachable and you're willing to work really hard, you could completely transform your life and make a significant income by not giving up and learning the skills that you need to really help a bunch of people, provide a bunch of contribution, and reach your goals. And I think that was a really big shift for me, is understanding that the only way you lose in this business is to truly give up. It's more about setting your mindset around what you're doing and what your goals are. And I'll get a little bit further into that. But he talked about success leaves clues. So what he did, and when he transferred to a professional, is he learned what the best of the best did. And what he found is they did the same thing over and over. They found what works and they continued to adapt it, but do basically the same thing over and over. And then he talked about the brain being the most powerful thing. So when you think about mindset, if your mindset is that whatever your network marketing company is takes a back seat to your primary work, you're basically going to procrastinate and not do the thing over here. And then what happens to people is they say it doesn't work. And it's like, no, it's not that it doesn't work. It's that you didn't learn and work and grow through it. Because there's perfect examples in Isogenics and in all these network marketing companies. There's many successful people. And we've seen the transformations, which are phenomenal. We've got a product that's absolutely amazing. So it's not a product problem either. There's people that have had, or many people in both financial and health-wise that have had a tremendous success. So the difference is the mindset, the work ethic, and the skills to move to the next level. So I'll get a little deeper into that. So there is a growth mindset and a fixed mindset, and that's part of what he talked about. He said, really your goals in your network marketing business are really just a decision. He talked about that some of the biggest growth in network marketing for him came in 6 90-day sprints, where he was committed to his goals and he focused on those goals. And a majority of the money he made was in those 6 90-day sprints where he was not doing anything else and just working his butt off to build his business. So I want to talk about some of the biggest mistakes in network marketing, the things that trip people up, and then that's why they go out and say that network marketing doesn't work, or it didn't work for them, is they don't treat it like a business. He talks about the ego and how most people have this crazy fear of what other people think about them, or that they're going to say something stupid, or they're going to be thought of as not representing the information the right way, or do something that's going to trip people up. And I think that really holds a lot of people back from their potential, because taking off the masks and truly sharing what you're about, and being open to the fact that you're going to have times where you fail, or he had a way of phrase it, you put on the ugly clothes long enough to understand how to do it the right way. Because if you think of juggling or learning a skill, you don't ride a bike and you step on it and just pedal. There's not very many people that do that. It takes time to learn and harness those skills to be successful, and that's what he talked about. Also talked about programming, which I shared a little bit before. We're programmed to do things a certain way. So when you think of network marketing, unless you have an entrepreneurial mindset, it really freaks a lot of people out, where that they have a scotoma, they have a mental block that maybe this doesn't work. But it truly, if you learn and are coachable and are willing to work really hard, you can reach your goals and you can do a lot of phenomenal things. He also talked about the sun and the moon mentality. So the sun is your primary, the moon is your secondary. So if you work a 40-hour work week and that's your focus, and that's what you're focused on, that is your sun. And then the moon would be your network marketing company or small business, whatever the case may be. And he talks about whatever is primary takes precedence. So if you get really, really busy, your primary takes precedence, and then the other one takes a back seat. Or if you don't know what to do, or if you're not being accountable to actions every day in your secondary, a lot of times that's when nothing happens, and then people get frustrated, and that's when they leave network marketing. So he talked about making sure that mentally you make what your primary and secondary are, and you make a note of what you truly want. Because if you truly want to grow a business, you need to focus on that. That doesn't mean that you need to quit your job, and that's not what he's recommending. It's mindset around what's important. And when push comes to shove, are you going to focus on that thing, that primary thing that you want in your life, meaning growth in your network marketing company, so you can have time freedom and you can have some of the things that out there that are true benefits to network marketing. And this one's a dagger a little bit. So he said this quote, and I don't know if it's perfect on there, but it was to this extent: your paycheck is a 100% reflection of the value that you create in your organization. And that stings sometimes, because truly getting into action, or if you learn the skills or start working your way through it, I'm going to figure it out as I go. I'm going to continue to get out and meet people and talk to people and share what my story, which I'll get into that one. I think there's a lot of power in the story. If I use the tools and do something about it, even if it's not perfect, I'm going to be that much closer to what I want. And I think that was a really big one, because it does take talking to people, or it does take having that interaction. And speaking of talking with people, just real quick, he talks about people don't like to talk on the phone anymore. So it's even easier than ever to text somebody to set up a meeting. And then I recommend that belly-to-belly, Zoom, some way where you can interact, where it's not just over text. But text messaging, getting the lead, getting somebody to set up an appointment is easier than ever. But get into action. So the two biggest things in network marketing, people want leverage, scalability, duplication, and all those are just fancy words for ways in which people are helping each other and things are happening. Even if you take a vacation or you take time off, your business keeps growing because we're aligned and we're linked together. And that's what I love about our team, is that we're helping build together and cross-line, downline. We're so focused on making each other better. That's what people are so geared up and wired into network marketing. But again, another dagger is the second side of that is what people don't like. It's not as sexy, but it takes a ton of work, and it's worth it work though. It is a job. You find prospects, you find a way to get the videos or the presentations, you follow up with people, you follow up with people, you follow up with people. It takes 4 to 6 touches for most leads to become follow through or to close. It takes 4 to 6. And some of the best in Isogenics had up to 18 times where they said no before they actually became a true product user. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes it's right away. I know people that have been successful right away, but just because they said no doesn't mean that they don't want to do this. It's just that it's not the right time right now, or they don't have enough information. But the big point here was most people want a business, but they don't want the job. And there's going to be those times where you have to sacrifice to grow because of what's going to be. And that's what he talked about with those 6 90-day sprints that created, and this isn't a perfect number, and it's not to say that it's going to exactly happen with you, so don't take the financial piece, but he had 6 90-day sprints that created for him around $15 million in his organization, where primarily the work around his absolute success like speed, going for it, talking to people. I think he said up to 18 hours a day. Not that you have to do that. That's not my point. My point is getting into action around your business and knowing that there are going to be times where you're going to have the job part of it that will be hard work. It's just being on the other side of that. He gets that time with his family. He gets the opportunity to do things that most people don't do. And in the process, it was a tremendous benefit for him. So be open to that coaching, get into action, learn forward as you walk through how to do this business the right way. So what do I want to present? What can you do next is understand your mindset. Going back to my example, I was in school 7 years to get a master's degree and multiple degrees in the process. It was valuable information, but I paid for that. In this business, we get paid as we learn, which is phenomenal. So if you're getting paid $1 or more, you're moving in the right direction, and you get an opportunity to grow something crazy while you're learning and in community with others and changing lives and really making a difference, which is really something that I'm connected to and I love. And then he talked a lot about this. Just make a decision. Commit to what you say. So if you say you want to do something in your business, it's not that it's not possible. You can absolutely do it. And they had an example where a gal wanted to get to director for the Rapid Reset. And he shared exactly what she needs to do. So it's not impossible for her to do that. It's just a matter of, how do I get to have conversations with 30 people? If I know that I need 16, how do I get 30 people in 3 different chunks and talk with them and present to them and find people that I can share my story with? And that was a lot of how he talked through the mindset portion of this, where you let the ego set aside and you really focus on how you're going to learn while you're continuing to move forward and try new things to help communicate with people. And as you go forward, you're going to get better, your skills are going to improve, and then your business is going to grow from there. So that's the first one. I've got multiple series I want to do, but I wanted to get something out there so that you could kind of see some of the information that I want to share. I'd love to hear your feedback. You can put it in the comments below. Like, friend, share. I'd love to get this out there where this message can be shared with other people. I hope you have a great night. Take care.